today's event. I believe our dear governor, our provincial officials, and our city and municipal mayors will be joining us here anytime soon, as they're also attending an equally important and urgent meeting. But nonetheless, we would like to acknowledge our partners from the national government agencies, all the way from Cagayan de Oro City. We have from the National Economic and Development Authority, NEDATEN, led by a Regional Director, Aurora B. Carino. We would also like to acknowledge the provincial directors and heads of the national government agencies in the province. Welcome, ma'am and sirs, and also the province. Of course, we also have the PGMO department heads this afternoon. Welcome, sir and ma'am. And other guests and friends, 2023 to 2028 Misamis Occidental Provincial Roadshow. All of us here today, as we delve into the region's current progress and its priorities in the future. Together, we will rally support for the region's development blueprint. Now, without further ado, and to formally kick off today's activity, we will now be hearing the welcome message and the brief updates on the state of the province of Misamis Occidental. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our Vice Governor, Honorable Rowena Gutierrez. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, Amanda. So, a pleasant afternoon to everyone. Okay ra ba? So, ato sa papakan, ang Ginoo kay natakaroon din eh. Kita. So, our hard-working governor is supposed to personally deliver this message. But due to an equally important prior commitment, he asked me to deliver this message to you today. So, if I may, Congressman Jason P. Almonte of the 1st District Congressman, Congressman Sancho Fernando Bagdal of the 2nd District, Vice Governor Rowena Gutierrez, and members of the Sangguniang Panglalawigan, NIDA Regional Director and Vice Chairperson of the National Development Council, Ma'am Aurora B. Carino, together with her staff, city and municipal mayors, and all members of the Provincial Government Council, department heads, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We gather here today for this important occasion. The Provincial Roadshow of the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan on MRDP 2023-2028. This activity demonstrates the desire of the Regional Development Council and the National Economic Development Authority Region 10 to bring the Regional Development Plan closer to its people to ensure the attainment of its development objectives at the local levels of governance. As a product of multi-stakeholders consultation, the MRDP is a collective aspiration of the people of the region in the next 6 years. Thus, through the activity, we can ensure wider participation, enlist full support, ownership, and commitment from various sectors within the region to implement and monitor the plan. As part and parcel of Northern Mindanao, the province of Misamis Occidental has been working tirelessly in doing its share in the economic growth and development of the entire region. However, history has told us because in the past years, Misamis Occidental used to belong to the top 10 poorest provinces in the Philippines. In 2003, we are top 7, and in 2006, top 10. Our current poverty incidence among families is at 18.3%. At peace and order was one of the toughest barriers to development with Misamis Occidental, particularly Osabi City, was once distracted of various crimes and was even tagged as a drug and organized crime capital of Mindanao. Because of the presence of Coratong Balalinga, our province had also been a rebel-infested area. Because of this, development of the province, especially Osabi City, was halted and we were left behind by development and neighboring provinces and cities. In 2017, when former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte became president, miracle happened in Misamis Occidental. With this political will, strong law enforcement, and the collective efforts of our people who supported the anti-illegal drugs campaign. In the drug syndicates and organized crime were dismantled in the province, thus giving us the opportunity to bounce back from our developmental impasse. As part of our effort to maintain peace and order, we have procured and distributed to a total of 200 rescue and patrol vehicles to different barangays where they can use for mobilization, especially during emergency and peacekeeping activities. This is to strengthen our efforts na ang Misamis-mon magpuyong malinaw. We have also vigorously implementing our anti-insurgency programs such as the provision of cash rewards to rebel surrenderers in the amount of 500,000 each for the high-ranking CPP MPE and 300,000 pesos each for the rank and file members. And we are glad that Misamis Occidental will soon be declared as an insurgency-free province. Misamis Occidental is not yet in the tourism and investment map of the country, so that when I was a congressman of the 2nd District, we labored hard in putting multi-billion funds of the national government in a physical framework and development plan of the province. For 9 years, we are able to complete our barangay, municipal, provincial, and national roads, 95% of which were already completed. We were able to work hard for the realization of the Pangilby Bridge, which will provide 24/7 connectivity in all the regions of Mindanao, passing through the province of Lanao del Norte. The bridge will be completed sometimes by March next year and will be operational by June of next year. Furthermore, we are able to modernize our airport and our seaport. Our airport here is the only airport in Mindanao with a 5 entrance and exits that will more or less declug traffic in the city of Osamis. Those coming from Zamboanga del Norte will directly go to the airport through the Carib route without passing through the city proper and those coming from Zamboanga Resort, as well as those coming from within Usagi City, have also their entrance and exit roads. In other words, we provide our people going to the airport a convenient access roads without passing through the city proper, thereby declogging the city traffic and reducing travel time among travelers. Our primary direction of the province, as highlighted in our Ascenso Misamis Occidental Vision in on tourism development, as we aspire to become a tourism hub in Mindanao. In line with this direction, as early as September last year, we conducted our executive legislative agenda in Palawan, of which part of the activity was the exposure of our provincial officials and department heads to tourist destination of El Nido, particularly in Lagin Resort, to have first-hand observation on tourism development of the area, as we are planning to have a multi-inspired resort in the province. With that, we have learned from such exposure, we have constructed our multi-inspired resort, the Ascenso Misamis Occidental Resort, and Aqua Marine Park in Sinagaban. A 600 million local projects of the province, which construction is now ongoing. Also, just recently, our provincial officials, local chief executives in the cities and municipalities of the province, and our department heads conducted the planning session and benchmarking activities on tourism best practices in Japan and South Korea. This is in line with our intention to personally witness tourism development and best practices in these countries with established and renewed tourism destination in order to replicate them in the province. One of the tourism destinations we visited was Mount Fuji with its cable car. With our learning from the travel, we are planning to link with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, for collaboration in the product of feasibility study in line with our desire to put up a ropeway or cable car at our Ascenso Global Gardens at Uyuy, Langog City, which will be the first cable car in Mindanao. Aside from this, we are also developing the summer capital of the province, the municipality of Don Victoriano, which is known for its Piduan Falls and Strawberry Farm. We have the Suwanin Village in Tudela, floating cottage in Sapang Dalagan, and other tourism destinations in the province. We will be completing also our sport complex in Usagi City with 15 to 20,000 capacity. Once completed this will provide us more opportunities to host convention and other national, private, and public events. And we are targeting to host the Palarong Pambansa in 2026. In terms of our health services, our free hospitalization program for the past 14 months has catered to more than 1,200 patients with a cost of more or less 700 million pesos that include operating services, medical services, and medicines. In our pursuit for a more accessible accessible and improved hospital services, we constructed our Ascenso Misamis Occidental Medical Center, costing 1 billion pesos in Oroquieta City. It will upgrade the bed capacity of our provincial hospital from 150 to 500 bed capacity. We were also able to procure and distribute 15 brand new ambulance units, augmented by 6 units from the Department of Health to facilitate the two-way referral system and to provide timely response to potential or confirmed medical emergencies from an incident site to hospitals. One of the major educational programs we have implemented in our Ascenso Familia, One Family, One Professional program, which will be launched last August 22, 2023. The provincial government has provided financial subsidy of the grantees to support their educational expenses for them to access higher education and facilitate employment in line with our objective to have at least one professional in every family as part of our goal of making Misatisnon magpuyong malampuon. For this semester, we have about 3,200 grantees who avail of the program. In our agricultural program, we had forecasted last year that the price of the rice will really go high. And as we are experiencing today, we are trying to aspire of a rice subsidy in the province through our Ascenso Rice Farmers Fall Assistance Program, CON-ARPA. Here our rice farmers, their capital is only their hard work. Ang ilang katugi sa pagtanong o pagkatiman sa ilang humay, kaya ang atong program nagtabang sa atong mag-uuma gikan sa land preparation to harvest, pinaagi sa paghatag og libreng abono, libreng binhi, free use of tractors and farm implements. In this manner, our rice farmers will no longer resort to borrowing that will delay in the preparation of the planting season, because everything will now be provided by the government, so that our target of the national average production is only 4.9 metric tons per hectare, and northern Mindanao current production yield in our rice industry is 5.2 metric tons per hectare. We are trying to target 5.6 to 6 metric tons per hectare to achieve our desire of rice efficiency. We hope that through this program, we will improve our contribution in the gross domestic products in the region, particularly on the agricultural sector, as we have only about 14% contribution of our agriculture in the GDP of province based on the provincial product accounts released by the Philippine Statistics Authority. In terms of infrastructure projects, we have just inaugurated this month the following projects. Completing of San Isidro Sinakaban Provincial Road with the amount of 9,998,030.17. Construction of water system Barangay Bonifacio Calamba, 4,489,686.47. New Ascenso Hospital Building at Doña Maria D. Pinagalitan Memorial Hospital with the amount of 45,739,833.96. Installation of solar street lights at Tangub City with amount of 14,202,305.37. Construction of one-story, three-classroom with toilet, Libertad Bago Integrated School, Sinagaban, with amount of 9,087,931.81. Construction of one-story, three-classroom with toilet, Libertad Bago Integrated School, Sinagaban, with amount of 9,898,190.54. Widening of permanent bridge, Colopan, with 12,042,240. Construction of bypass and diversion route, Mount Malindaque Ecotourism Bypass Highway, Iturong, Villaba, Salimpuno, Kimat Section, Tangub City, with an amount of 220 million pesos. Construction of slow protection on downstream of Mikawai Bridge 1 along Osamis Pagadian Road, Tangub City, with an amount of 39,200 pesos. Widening of permanent bridge, Panagsalan Bridge 2, with an amount of 31,693,200 pesos. Construction of slow protection upstream and downstream Panagsalan Bridge 2, with 29,400 pesos. Construction completing multipurpose building in Tangub City with 1,425,900 pesos. Construction concrete and barangay roads, Tangub City, 39,200,000. Concreting of the Lompinas Road sa Pangdalaga, 19,600,000. Concreting of Circumferential Road, Barangay Poblacion, Concepcion, 29,400,000. Construction of multipurpose building, Clarin Municipal Hall, with amount of 17,951,968.44. Construction of new Provincial Engineers Building, 50 million. This is Misamis Occidental today. But despite what we have achieved as a province, the challenges are still present. And as a matter of fact, before we were able to achieve what we have attained today, the threat of the leadership is so high because of the dismantling of the drug organization, while it was the political will of the president. But the drug personalities, they organize crime groups. The remnants are looking at this leadership as responsible of what we had happened today. So that in the past 5 years, this representation experienced 4 assassination attempts. The first was in the airport at Naiya, where the gunman was already inside the pre-departure area. The second one was that, as reported, it was a mistaken identity that the vehicle of actress Kim Chu was following my vehicle, that the target there was my vehicle. And accidentally, Kim Cho and this representation are living in the same subdivision. The third one was way back last December 22, 2021 with that sniping incident that happened in Tangog City that claimed the life of the vice gubernatorial candidate, former mayor of Provincial, Michael Gutierrez, and the latest was just last October 15, 2023 at about 11:10 in the evening, while we were on our way home to Sami City from our 5M's Barangay Basic Orientation Seminar. An improvised explosive device exploded, causing damage to my lead vehicles. Thanks to God that no one was hurt in the same explosion. We continue to pray for justice and God's protection at all times. These are all current challenges, but we will not falter in our effort and we will work hard to provide more developments in our province. Thus, we need all your support and cooperation because our unity and teamwork are important ingredients in our success. As what Helen Keller said, alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. With you as our partners, I have high hopes that we will soar high in achieving our vision of Ascenso, Misamis Occidental, where every Misamisnor magpuyong malinamon, malambuon o malibadon. On this note, I welcome you all to this Regional Development Plan Provincial Roadshow. Thank you very much, Ascenso Misamis Occidental.
Thank you very much, Vice Governor, for that warm message and presentation of the province status on behalf of our Governor, Attorney Henry S. Swaminathan. It is with much anticipation that we move to our next juncture. This afternoon, we have the opportunity to be granted a comprehensive overview of the region's progress over the past year. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now lend our ears and focus our attention on the audio-visual presentation of the 2023 State of the Region Address by the Honorable Governor of the Province of Lanao del Norte and the Chairperson of the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Council, Honorable Imelda Quibrenza de Mapuro.
The year 2022 marked Northern Mindanao's further recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Thus, the region is back on track to a high-growth path. Region 10's economy grew by 7.2% at constant 2018 prices in 2022, faster than the 2021 growth rate of 6.3% and within the region's recalibrated target for the year. This is an indication of the region's further recovery from COVID-19 pandemic and a manifestation of its resilience amid external headwinds. The total gross regional domestic product, or GRDP output for 2022 was valued at 935 billion pesos and accounts for 4.7% of the total national output. Northern Mindanao emerged as the 7th largest economy among the 17 regions and joined the ranks of trillion peso regional economies with a total nominal output of 1.07 trillion pesos in 2022. 2022 was a transition year, taking with it the gains during the administration of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, some of which are upholding our commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals, as well as recovery from Typhoon Odette, which affected parts of the region late in the year. Also, in the same year, the region embarked on developing the Regional Development Plan 2023 to 2028, which is anchored on the 8-point socio-economic agenda of the Marcos administration. In terms of poverty reduction, Northern Mindanao already achieved its poverty targets in 2018, 4 years ahead of schedule. This was driven by the region's episode in the previous decade, and the government's prudent macroeconomic policies as well as game-changing reforms. However, the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted our growth momentum and pushed back more Filipinos in the region to poverty. Poverty incidence among population increased to 26.1% in 2021, translating to 1.32 million Filipinos in the region living in poverty, or 190,000 more compared to 2018. Despite the challenges in alleviating the socioeconomic status of our people, labor market conditions in the region continue to improve. Our employment rate marginally increased to 95.45%, while underemployment eased to 13.65%. Not only did we see more jobs, but we also generated better quality jobs in 2022. For 2022, the services sector recorded the highest share of the GRDP at 54.5%, followed by the industry at 25.6%, and agriculture, forestry, and fishing at 19.9%. The services sector demonstrated resilience as restrictions were gradually lifted. Much of the sector's growth was from activities in human capital, health, and social work subsectors, with substantial improvements in healthcare. The continued easing of pandemic-related mobility restrictions led to increased demand for travel and tourism-related services, or as it is coined nowadays, a phenomenon called revenge travel. Meanwhile, the slow growth of the agriculture, forestry, and fishing is attributed to the modest increase in crop production. Notwithstanding, the region remained the second biggest contributor to the country's total agricultural output in 2022, among other regions in the country. Northern Mindanao topped the list in the production of pineapple, cattle, and hog, ranked second in banana, coconut, corn, papaya, and sugarcane, and third in chicken. The growth drivers of Northern Mindanao are wholesale and retail trade, agriculture, manufacturing, and construction. Meanwhile, value of investments increased by 5% from 3.83 billion pesos in 2021 to 4.04 billion pesos in 2022. Moreover, taxes and customs collections continue to grow owing to the full reopening of the economy and improved collections operations. In 2022, the region hit its planned target for tax revenues with 13.83 billion pesos. In the same year, the region also collected a total of 37.41 billion pesos in customs revenues. Inflation accelerated to 5.8% from 3.9% in 2021, higher than the region's annual planned target range of 2 to 4%. Along governance, the region supported one of the network legislations for 2022, which is Executive Order 138 Series of 2021, or the full devolution policy. Also in 2022, a total of 23 Northern Mindanao LGUs were awarded with the seal of good local governance using the new guidelines. Moreover, out of 93 LGUs in the region, 42 participated in the rollout of the community-based monitoring system conducted here. The previous administration's thrust toward attaining peace and order called for the security sector's relentless fight against criminality and illegal drugs. In 2022, most of the crime indicators saw positive performance and exceeded end-of-plan targets. The Convergence Areas for Peace and Development, or CAPDEV program, remains as the region's banner program towards the attainment of inclusive and sustainable development and just and lasting peace. In the region, from 2019 to first quarter of 2023, a total of 4,244 PAPs were reported in various clusters, amounting to 83.3 billion pesos. Complementing the CAPDEV program is the region's successful implementation of the Local Government Fund Support to Barangay Development Program. The region has been also successful in weakening the presence of communist terrorist groups in hotbeds, channeling resources to CAPDEV-focused barangays, assisting former rebels who opted to rejoin society. In terms of natural disasters, the number of casualties and affected persons decreased year on year, continued improvements in disaster risk reduction and management systems. Northern Mindanao continually aims for zero casualty from human-induced and natural disasters. In protecting the health capacity capacities of its people, the region administered a total of 6,807,767 first and second doses of COVID-19 vaccine in 2022. This represents 92.4% of the eligible population. As to the booster doses, 14.54% were inoculated with both first and second doses. In improving health systems, the standard hospital-to-bed population ratio target for level 1 and level 2 was not attained, with level 3 hospitals at 1:4,391 as of year-end of 2022. Maternal mortality ratio per 100,000 live births and infant mortality per 1,000 live births also decreased in 2022. On to education. Northern Mindanao posted almost 100% cohort survival rate and completion rate for the elementary level in the last year. Dropout rates for the level also decreased from 3% in 2016 to 0.07% in 2022. Net enrollment rates increased from the baseline data in 2016. However, rates for the kindergarten, junior, and senior high school levels did not meet its end-of-plan targets. The number of tertiary enrollees monitored in all programs went up by 80% from 2016 to 2022, but the number of graduates monitored decreased at almost 10%. While the target for tertiary education subsidy grantees was not met because there were no new grantees for academic year 2021 to 2022 and academic year 2022 to 2023. Along learning, the region endeavors to strengthen the competence of its teachers and instructional leaders, improve the alternative learning system, and ensure alignment of curriculum programs from basic to higher education in order to meet labor market needs. For housing, a total of 21,780 units were constructed from 2017 to 2022, going beyond the end-of-plan target of 19,518 units. By the end of 2022, the region, through the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, or 4Ps, was able to sustain 274,462 household beneficiaries in the region. Based on the Social Welfare and Development Indicators tool, 34.48% of the household beneficiaries were able to attain self-sufficiency in 2022. Moreover, the social pension program served 234,689 indigent senior citizens for the given year. Also, 143,564 informal workers were provided with emergency employment through the Tulong Panghanapay sa Ating Disadvantaged or Displaced Workers Program. As a result of the easing of community quarantine restrictions, child labor profiling activities resumed, achieving its end-of-plan target. The region strengthened its efforts in not only monitoring child laborers, but also campaigning against unlawful child labor. Part of the child labor prevention and elimination program was the staging of the Dolekulang or Pelikulang Dole, which aims to increase awareness of child labor in its first forms. Infrastructure. This plays an important role in attaining the country's long-term vision of a matatag, maginhawa, at manatag na buhay. In Region 10, our major imperatives are in bridging infrastructure gaps and establishing an efficient, responsive, safe, and ecologically friendly built environment. The following infrastructure flagship projects and the regional priorities were implemented and steered in 2022. Ang Gill Bay Bridge Project, a 3.77-kilometer two-lane bridge that will connect Tugtog City in Misamis Occidental and the Tugtog Municipality in Banmar and Norte. Cagayan de Oro Coastal Road, a two-section 27-kilometer road that serves as an outlet route to help decongest traffic along the Cagayan de Oro Iligan Road. Flood risk management project for Cagayan de Oro River. Structural and non-structural measures that aim to mitigate flood risk in Cagayan de Oro River Basin through the construction of flood protection measures. Bukidnon Airport Development Project, a 149.64-hectare new airport in the municipality of Don Carlos, Bukidnon. Upgrade, expansion, operation, and maintenance of the Lindigan Airport, aimed at increasing the airport capacity to 11.28 million passengers per year by the end of the concession period of 35 years. Mindanao Irrigation Development Project. Two of the four components of the project, the Balingasan and Bukunang River irrigation systems, are implemented in Region 10. Integrated Flood Resilience and Adaptation, or the INFRA project, Phase 1, aims to reduce flood risk and vulnerability of communities in and around Mindanao or the Agus River Basin. Digital transformation centers that provide quality ICT facilities to improve communities' access to information, communication, technology, government services, non-formal education, skills training, telehealth, job markets, and business portals. Along energy, a total of 2,347.3 milliwatts of dependable capacity was recorded in 2022 from the combined power output of electric power plants operating in Region 10. This is 8.7% higher compared to that in 2021. Barangay electrification also reached 100%. However, CTO electrification coverage remains as a concern, as only 84.2% of the target CTOs were energized in 2022. In terms of access to drinking water by service level, based on the annual poverty indicator survey in 2020, 94.3% of the 1.168 million families in the region enjoy a basic level of drinking water from an improved source. This is better than the country's 93.9% average. However, around 1.6% of families in the region still access drinking water from unprotected dug wells or springs. On sanitation, about 82.5% of families in Region 10 have access to a basic service level of sanitation facilities. Still, the challenge remains to address the 1.2% of families that practice open defecation. The level of irrigation development in the region stands at 68.9% as of 31st of December 2022, which is equivalent to 83,662 hectares of service area out of potential irrigable areas of 121,512 hectares. With the use of the innovative platform for PPA's location assessment, monitoring, investment programming, and budgeting for development planning and governance for the economic system, a total of 79 flood control projects with a total project cost of 12.784 billion pesos are under implementation in the region. As of 31st of December 2022, 63 projects have been completed. Digital infrastructure plays a crucial role in narrowing the digital divide by improving access to technology, information, and services for individuals and communities. In Region 10, all 93 cities and municipalities have already been covered by cellular mobile telephone system. However, only 76% of the targeted barangays, or 1,529 out of 2,022, have been reached by ICT services as of the fourth quarter of 2022. In 2022, free internet access was made available to 6 cities and 26 municipalities in northern Mindanao. There were 3 new tech-for-ed centers established in Region 10. The region has established a total of 157 tech-for-ed centers in Region 10 since 2017. As part of addressing COVID-19 through the Regional Recovery Program, non-hospital facilities, including private facilities identified as isolation and quarantine units, were funded, constructed, and utilized by the LGUs. The region also established 62 TTMFs, Ligtas COVID centers, and isolation units in 2022. As of 2022, 93.55% at the junior high school level, 97.24% of schools at the elementary or primary level, and 100% for senior high school level were connected to electric sources. However, there are still 74 public schools in the region which do not have access to electric power. These schools are partly located in geographically isolated and disadvantaged and conflict-affected areas. One of the core elements of our regional vision is to become the gateway to the southern part of the country. Hence, connectivity is one of our many advantages. As of October 14, 2022, the total road length of the national highways in Region 10 reached 1,977.54 kilometers, representing 23.41% of the total length of national roads in Mindanao. In 2022, the total ship calls dropped to 26,915 from 27,657 the previous year. The port of Zambes posted the highest drop in the number of ship calls at 2.88%, while the basic ports of Cagayan de Oro and Mindanao posted slight reductions at less than 1%. The total volume of cargoes handled by the base ports of the region also decreased to 7.79 million metric tons in 2022 from 8.06 million metric tons in 2021. For 2022, the total number of passengers more than doubled, reaching 2.7 million from 935,931 in 2021. Incoming and outgoing commercial flights recorded in 2022 numbered 16,574 flights, exceeding the planned target by 149.32% total volume of incoming and outgoing cargoes reached a total of 15.39 million kilograms, achieving the end-of-plan target of 15.10 million kilograms. The accomplishments of Northern Mindanao are the results of the resolute and relentless service and partnership of the government, private sector, and the citizens. A total of 144 resolutions were approved by the RDC-10 for calendar year 2022. Moreover, as part of the leadership transition, the RDC-10 elected its new set of officers for the term 2022 to 2025 in a historic journey. Lano del Norte Provincial Governor Imelda Quebranza de Vapor was appointed as the first woman chairperson of the RDC-10. The year 2022 propelled the region towards the first base camp of that is Ambisyon Natin 2040, laying down the foundations for inclusive growth and resilient Northern Mindanao amid the backdrop of the lingering health crisis, ongoing geopolitical tensions, and the warming world. The region now ascends towards the second base camp, of which the goal is to achieve economic and social transformation for a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient society.
Usa ka kinabuyang lingkod, hamugaway o gadunay kasiguraduhan para sa tanan. Kini ang atong ambisyon para sa kaugalingon, sa atong pamilya, para sa rehiyon, o para sa nasod. I urge all Northern Mindanaoans, let us persist and work together to solidify our position as an international gateway, leading agricultural hub, and major industrial, tourism, and trade center in the Philippines with empowered citizens, enjoying comfortable lives, sustainably harnessing the region's agricultural and natural resources and cultural assets, while living in a harmonious, inclusive, smart, safe, and resilient environment. Akong gidasig ang tanan, and let us not allow today to pass without working towards these aspirations. And let us constantly unite our purposes, for there is no greater time to be alive. Our time, the time is now for Northern Mindanao, atong gimahal nga rehiyon.
Now, we are really glad that every one of you are in attendance this afternoon as Northern Mindanao moves towards its desired future with the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan as its blueprint. Now, to lead us with a presentation on the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan 2023 to 2028, highlighting the role of the province and the contribution of the province and the local priorities considered in the NMRDP and the Regional Development Investment Program. Please help me welcome on stage the Vice Chairperson of the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Council and the Regional Director of NEDA Regional Office 10, Director Myla Fe Aurora P. Calini.
Salamat, maayong hapon ka namin tanan. Murag mingaw kag maraming hapon to Governor Henry Momina, represented by the beautiful and active Vice Governor William Gutierrez, our partners from the provincial government and the local government units, our fellow public servants, our partners from the private sector, civil society organizations, and non-government organizations. Maayong hapon ka namin tanan. Last year, specifically November 21, 2022, ang NEDA, ang mga officials, partners of the Regional Development Council, yan hinili sa Misamis Occidental. We consulted you on the Regional Development Plan. Particularly, we asked you kung saan mga hagit na giatubang sa Misamis Occidental, kung saan mamahimo sa region to help address these concerns. And we also asked you what strategies should we include in the Regional Development Plan so that we can effect not only regional development, but most of all, further development sa province of Misamis Occidental. So karong hapuna, ang akong takas is not only to give you a bird's eye view of what our Regional Development Plan is, but I would like to share with you mga daghan ng mga studyo. Unsa itong mga strategies that you have contributed that found their way in the regional development plan. I will also be reporting to you unsa itong mga programs and projects that you have recommended for inclusion in the Regional Development Investment Program for implementation here in the province. Of course, daghan itong mga programs and projects, no, and we know that there are many competing demands and wants. But most of those atong yung paningkamutan nga mapunduhan. So this is the outline of my presentation. Of course, I would like to begin by sharing about ambition natin 2040. Ano magsige mag-balik-balik about ambition natin 2040? Because it is the heart or the core of our efforts for national, regional, and even local development. Then I'll give you a bird's eye view about the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan, although at the end of my presentation na ay gamay kaayo na ADP. But most importantly, I'll talk about Misamis Occidental in the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan. Some of you, or many of you, were part of the consultative process last year. Next slide, please. So, ambition natin 2040. Next slide. So, as I have, let me give you a brief background about the genesis of ambition natin 2040. Before President Aquino stepped down in 2015, iyang isugo ang pagpanday, paghimo sa usa ka national vision that would unite Filipinos, that would link or connect administrations. More often, ang atong mga presidents o ang ilang administration prepare what we call a medium-term goals. But President Aquino wanted a unifying national vision. So na ay survey, no? And then there was a series of focus group discussion. But the vision was only finalized sa panahon na ni President Rodrigo Roa Duterte in 2016. Next slide, please. So, duha ka components sa vision. Vision for country and vision for self. And this is the vision for country. That the Philippines by 2040 shall have been a prosperous, predominantly middle-class society where no one is poor. Our peoples live long and healthy lives, are smart and innovative, and live in a high-class society. Next slide. So this is naman our vision for self. Ang ato yung gusto is a stable and comfortable lifestyle. Secure na naatay enough para sa atong pang-adlaw-adlaw nga paginahanglanon o ilabi na sa panahon sa tumang kapitlos or kanisod tungod kay nagatubang taong katalagman. These visions were approved by President Rodrigo Roa Duterte in December of 2016 by virtue of Executive Order Number 5. He did not only approve this vision, but he urged all of us, he enjoined all of us to participate, to help in the realization of this vision. Next slide. Para sa iyong tungtungon ang vision for country, vision for self. This is our vision in a nutshell. Nga ang ato yung gusto mahuman ang usa ka matatag, maginhawa at panatag ng buhay. Sa ato pa ng kaugalingon, lingon, hamugaway, o kinabuhi may kasiguraduhan. Kung imo siyang tanawon, pareha siya actually sa 5 M's. But this is another articulation of the 5 M's. 5 M's. Misamis nun, mabuhi, magpuyong, malinamon, malambuon, o malipayon. So this is actually another incarnation of malinamon, malambuon, o malipayon. Likon, hamugaway, o kinabuhi, may kasiguraduhan. Next slide. So when we talk about likon, hamugaway, o kinabuhi, may kasiguraduhan, daghan indicators sa atong tanawon. But two major indicators are being monitored. One is poverty, and another is our economic growth and how we benefit from this economic growth. Ang gusto sa Presidente is that by 2040, ang atong poverty level should be less than 1%. Why? Because the kind of development that we want is one that is sustainable and inclusive. Mayroong galing inclusive development, it is a kind of development where everyone benefits. So ang pangutana, unsay di mailhan, unsay signos na ang usa ka tawo nakabenepisyo sa kalampuan. Siyempre, mahawa siya sa kalisod. That is our ultimate aim. Poverty of less than 1%. And of course, tripling individual incomes. But we know that there are many dimensions of poverty and there are many dimensions or indicators for measuring matatag, maginhawa at kanakatabuhan. Muna ang commitment ni President Duterte. 2022, dapat we should be able to lift 6 million Filipinos out of poverty. Sa Region 10, ang ating commitment is to lift around 500,000 Filipinos living in Northern Mindanao out of poverty. Next slide. Next slide. Ang atong poverty is measured every 3 years. So naaga 2009, 2012, 2015 as mentioned by Vice Gov ganina, 2018, 2021, and supposedly 2024. But this year, tungkol kay Dugay, dito may tulong katubig, no? This year, they will be releasing the first estimate for 2023 poverty, and the full year estimate will be released next year. Hopefully, with CBMS, we would have an annual picture. So, based on 2018 na datos sa PSA, the Philippines was able to lift, more than 6 million Filipinos out of poverty. In Region 10, we overachieved. Our target was just 500,000 by 2022, but we were able to lift 684,000 Filipinos out of poverty, or 184,000 more than what we committed. But that was in 2018. Next slide. Wala na nakapamalandong na naay isa ka pandemya nga moabot, no? Moabot sa ato, and this altered the course of history, this altered our landscape. Tungod ni COVID, no? Tungod ni COVID na dinatar, na diril ang atong mga development efforts. Ug ang atong hard-fought gains, we were able to reduce by as much as 15 percentage points ang atong poverty level. Isaka na sad siya. From 23.1% na poverty among population, isaka siya to 26.1%. And then, ang 17.3% na population, ang poverty among families, isaka siya by 19.2%. In 2021, we had 90,000 more poor Filipinos. Next slide, please. So, tanaw na to, ang datos sa Misamis Occidental atong itanti sa atong regional average. Kung tanaw ninyo ang datos na naa sa taas, mas maayo ang sitwasyon sa Misamis Occidental kaysa sa atong regional average. Our regional average for poverty among population is at 26.1%. For Misamis Occidental, it's 24.7%, or 155,900 poor Misamisnos. Although mas bubo kaysa sa regional average, still, this is a concern for us. Because remember, ang ating target is less than 1% by 2040. Next slide. If you look at poverty in terms of families, again, better ang sitwasyon sa Misamis Occidental because our regional average is 19.2% and Misamis Occidental has 18.3% poor families or around 26,500 families. Mauna ang karon si Sir William o ang tanan na mga nanarbaho sa LGU of Misamis Occidental, ipakita ng mga poor individuals, ipakita ng mga poor families so that the interventions are focused and targeted. No? And your banner program is 5Ms, correct, Sir William? And you're going from one barangay to another barangay to talk about 5Ms and the different programs of 5Ms. Now, one focus target those who need our interventions the most. Next slide, please. So, let's talk about the regional economy and the provincial economy. Ang ekonomiya sa Region 10, Bicol, prior to COVID, our economy was expanding between 6 to 7%. But I will be the first to tell you that our growth is not inclusive. Remember, what is inclusive? It is a growth where everyone benefits. While Region 10's economy is strong because it has been expanding consistently, the growth is not inclusive because we still have very high poverty. Now, starting in 2020, we're able to measure the provincial product accounts. Sa una, ang atong perspective is only regional, hindi na ito masukod, no? Ang ekonomiya sa usa ka probinsya or highly organized city. But we became a pilot and henceforth, nanatay provincial product accounts. And the next round will be released before the end of the year. Now, ang ekonomiya sa Misamis Occidental, niabot na over 100 billion pesos. This one is in terms of constant 2018 prices. Ang ekonomiya sa Region 10, aning period, is over 872 billion pesos. Next slide. So how much is the contribution of Misamis Occidental to the economy of Region 10? You contributed 13% to the economy of Region 10. Sa akong tanaw, mas dako paunta ang inyong contribution except na wala pa nato na tap, wala pa nato na harness ang inyong mga potentials dinhi sa Region 10. But I am optimistic na minaw ko ganiha sa report ni Vice Gov. And you have a lot of things going for you. Ang ato lang is that we sustain the momentum and we also take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you. Like for example, the opening of the bridge. This would really be a game changer, not only for Misamis Occidental, not only for Lanao del Norte, but for the western part of Mindanao. You know what? When this bridge opens, dapat ready po ang inyong airports o ang inyong seaports to accommodate more businesses. Ano man, pag ma-open na yung bridge, many will opt to fly out or to fly in from Misamis Airport, correct? Di na mo adto og Cagayan de Oro, di na mo adto Pagadian, di na mo adto Dipolog, labi na kay daotan ilang runway karon. And then of course, because the accessibility is better, more would like to explore your tourism products. So ang hagit nato ani, and I'm sure nakita na ni sa team ni Governor Henry through the PPDO, is not only how do we address our consistent concerns and issues, but more importantly, how do we take advantage of the opportunities that are presented before us. Our businesses, we should help our businesses so that they can better take advantage of the opportunities of this game-changing project. Next slide. So, Sir William, 13% contribution is underachievement, huh? Because if we talk about the potentials, Vice Gov, and the resources in Misamis Occidental, you can actually contribute more. Now, unsa man ang Misamis Occidental sa region? Ang iyang function sa development sa region is anchored on Misamis Occidental's inherent advantages. And what are these? It's along agriculture, aquaculture, cultural, and tourism. These are your natural endowments: agriculture, aquaculture, tourism, and culture-based tourism. Next slide, please. Right now, President Duterte in 2016 was the first president na mitayak sa ambisyon natin 2014. 2016 to 2014, that's 24 years. So if it's 24 years before attain ang mission natin 2040, how many presidents would it take? 4 presidents. So the first president is President Duterte, the second president is President Bongbong Marcos, then we'll have another president by 2028 and another president by 2034. Anong panahon na tubuang na ito, no? Pero magpugong lang kagamay sa edad, yun na dalion ang pagkatiguang. So, if we liken 2040, ang mission natin 2040 to the summit like Mount Everest, going up the summit of Mount Everest would require us to move towards base camps. The first base camp was President Duterte's, and the second base camp is President Marcos's. Next slide, please. So last year, during the State of the Nation address, President Marcos ordered the executive branch, the legislative branch, and even the judiciary to work together to formulate the Philippine Development Plan for 2023 to 2028. During this same SONA, he revealed what he called his 8-point socio-economic agenda. Sa iyang 8-point socio-economic agenda, tulungan ni our near-term agenda, and naako siya itawag na medium-term agenda. Next slide, please. So these are his near-term agenda. Una is really protect the purchasing power of the Filipinos. Una, mag-monitor na sa presyo sa atong basic commodities, ang presyo sa atong electricity, ang presyo sa atong gasolina. But we know that the inflation is not only caused by local factors, but also by global disruptions in our value chain. Secondly, ang gusto niya is really to reduce our vulnerabilities sa mga future pandemics, but he also wants to address the scaring effects of COVID pandemic in terms of health, in terms of education losses, and in terms of increasing social protection. So karon na tayo food voucher system. And then third, of course, to ensure some macroeconomic fundamentals. Para kung naaman gani mo abot kakatalagman, dili ka basta-basta mahakba. So we take a look at our bureaucratic efficiency, our fiscal management, our innovation in terms of financial resources and others. Next slide. Now these are what we call his medium-term goals. One is really to create jobs. And not just to create jobs, he wants to create quality jobs. And in creating quality jobs, he also committed to create green jobs because he is concerned about the sustainable quality of our development. And what is sustainable development? It is a kind of development where we're able to provide for the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to provide for their own needs. So, dili pwede nga magpataka ka sa ating development karon nga puhon ang ating mga apo would not be able to attain their own definition of development. Next slide, please. And then, more importantly, uphold public order and safety, peace, and security. Really very important. Because when our investors feel insecure, feel unsafe, there would be flights. And I hope that what happened to Governor Henry can be resolved in an expeditious and just manner. No one should feel unsafe, including kita. We should have the freedom to move because we are safe. We feel secure. And our people should not only feel that, but more importantly, our investors and our partners. And lastly, ensure a level playing field. Competition is good. Why? Because competition gives us choices. Ingon pa sa maestro, what good is having the freedom to choose if you have no choice? Correct? When we exercise the freedom to choose, we should have a plethora of choices. Next slide. So, the plan of President Marcos was approved last year. While we were preparing the Philippine Development Plan, kita po din sa region, we were also preparing our regional development plan. He calls his plan a plan for economic and social transformation. Unsay commitment sa Presidente? Ang iyang commitment is reinvigorate job creation and accelerate poverty reduction. Again, why does he want that? Because his commitment is economic, happening dumdumo, mura ni siya 5 M's. Economic transformation for a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient society. Magduman ko ng tapidi. Economic transformation for a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient society. Again, this is still 5 M's, di ba? Isang wisdom, magpuyong, malinawon, malambuon, o malipayan. Memorize na na po yan. Basa na po yan. Next slide, please. So this is his game plan. This is his framework. This is President Marcos's framework. Kung tanawon niyo ang iyang game plan, ang iyang gambalay, wala nalimutan ang, of course, ang vision natin 2040, and then iyang commitment of economic transformation, and then tulong kabuok ang iyang categories of strategies. One is really develop and protect the capabilities of individuals and families. Maunang naa sa red. Ang second category niya is transform production sectors to generate more quality jobs and competitive products. Kanang blue, itawag natin na siya mga foundational strategies because they cut across red, they cut across green, and they include good governance, financial inclusion, environmental protection, integrity, climate action. It includes improving our resilience. It includes developing strategic infrastructure. Next slide, please. Kita sa Region 10 last year, when we prepared our plan, we also did a vision reality gap analysis. Ang atong plano sa 2017 to 2022 na siya vision for Region 10. And we did a vision reality gap. Ang atong gusto is to be an industrial hub, a trade center in Mindanao, relating to agriculture hub, trade center, industrial hub. And you know what? When we analyzed, we realized that most of our vision elements have already been attained. So, should we aspire for a more lofty ambition or vision for the region? Or should we retain the same vision? And the resounding response from across all the provinces and cities was that we should have a more lofty ambition for the region. But the lofty ambition is tempered, or is informed by outside available natural resources. And this is our new vision. How may I request you?
An international gateway, leading agricultural hub, and major industrial tourism and trade center in the Philippines, with empowered citizens enjoying comfortable lives, sustainably harnessing the region's agricultural and natural resources and cultural assets, while living in a harmonious, inclusive, smart, safe, and resilient environment.
Salamat kaayo, ma'am. So, ang atong ambisyon, ang konteksto, dili na lang Mindanao. Ang atong ambisyon, ang konteksto, Pilipinas na. So, we want to be an international gateway. That's what we're going to transform ang atong mga airports din here. We'll start with Labindingan Airport, of which its expansion has already been approved by the NEDA board. Karon, kita is already the agricultural hub in Mindanao. We Cagayan de Oro or Metro Cagayan de Oro because that is not being inclusive. So kinahanglan ang atong development must be in all areas of Region 10. So that's why we thought of strategic development areas. Una na atay Cagayan Iligan Industrial and Trade Center. Another is Mindanao del Norte, Misamis Occidental, Agri-Fishery and Eco-Cultural Tourism na STA. We also have Bukidnon and Misamis Oriental Agri-Business Ventures, and we have Camiguin, Hingoog, Misamis Oriental Tourism Adventure. Of course, Misamis Occidental belongs to Strategic Development Area 2. Next slide. So this is our framework. If you look at our framework is similar to the game plan of the national government. Why? Because we are aligned. Why? Because we will contribute to national development. If you look at this, naagihapon ang ambisyon natin 2040, but if you look at the framework, we included our vision for the region. More importantly, we also added the strategic development areas. And we have also identified, next slide, our banner program, which is the Convergence Areas for Peace and Development. I'm glad to see nga atong men and women in uniform because through their unique access to our conflict-affected areas, naatay gihimo nga program that would prioritize our conflict-affected, over-districted, geographically isolated, and susceptible to natural hazards. After Dinhi, I will go to Rizal, Zamboanga del Norte, and I will pass by the mountain road. Why? Because I already feel safe, in going to the mountain road. The mountain road will really cut my travel in going to Lanao del Norte. So thank you to the government of the Philippines and the local government unit for completing, if not almost completing, our road networks, and thank you to our security sector for keeping the peace. Next slide. So again, same priorities. Next. So this is our Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan. Thank you for participating in the crafting or formulation of the plan. Your inputs are invaluable. And I would really like to share with you unsa ang among naputlo, gikuha, gikan sa inyong daghan nga mga sugyot last year. Next slide. But let me just share first our headline targets. By the way, ang atong plano na atay tawag nga results matrix. And we have over 400 indicators that will measure our performance in implementing the plan. But let me share with you our headline indicators. We commit to expanding our economy between 6.5 to 8% until 2028. Last year, we expanded by 7.2%. Hopefully, we will be able to sustain the momentum. We would like to maintain our employment level between 95 to 96%. But most importantly, we want to bring down underemployment. Because underemployment is an indicator about the quality of jobs that we're able to generate in the region, and we want to bring it to less than 15%. Now, we want to reduce poverty among population from 23.1 to between 15 to 17% by 2028. So, medyo kulba-kulba, no? Kaya ang atong i-dauhog medyo substantial. And we want to bring down poverty among families to between 10 to 12% from the current 19.2%. Next slide. What about Misamis Occidental? Currently, your economy is growing at 4%. Correct? And you want to bring it, you want to develop it further, you want to expand it between 5.7 the provincial growth. Next slide. This government of Governor Henry commits to bring down poverty incidence among population to between 8 to 10%, which is currently at, what, 23%? And then poverty incidence among families to between 5 to 7%. Is this doable? Yes, it is doable. That's why you are committed to the CBMS, because you're going to look for the poor families and poor individuals and intervene so that they can participate in development. Next slide. So this was the picture last year, Vice Gov. No, we were here last November 21. We consulted you, and you talked about some of your concerns. You talked about then crime, which you have been able to bring down lately. You also talk about communist terrorist group or communism that plagues you. You also talked about the lack of resilience against natural hazard in some areas of the province. You also talk about high cost of inputs but low prices for agriculture products. You also talk about not many being able to take advantage of the universal health care. You talk about concerns along connectivity, not only in terms of road, but in terms of internet connection. And you also talk about the high cost of electricity. Next slide. So, Misamis Occidental in the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan. Next slide. So again, you are STA 2, capitalizing on the agri-fishery, agricultural, tourism endowments of Lanao del Norte and Misamis Occidental. Next slide, please. So what were your suggestions that we considered in the plan? Hindi na ko siya basahang tagsa-tagsa, no, but I will show them. Next slide. So for example, sa Boost Health, you advocated for health literacy based on culture. You advocated for tri-media house-to-house advocacy on health programs. On improving education and lifelong learning, you advocated for the design and implementation of future-ready TVET and higher education programs, intensify support for smart campuses, promotion of financial literacy at all levels of education, and the rest. Daghan kaayo inyong sugyot, which we have considered. And I'd like to go to the second to the last bullet. Enhance spiritual and moral values formation among learners. Where's that? Teachers and parents. Okay, next slide. These are your suggestions when it comes to establish livable communities. These are your suggestions that we considered in the plan. Next slide. These are also your suggestions that we considered as far as Chapter 5 is concerned on increasing income earning ability. Next slide. This one is on strengthening social protection, modernizing agriculture, and revitalizing industry. These are your suggestions which are already in the regional development plan. Now, unsay importance that we consider the strategies. The strategies are converted into specific programs and projects that will be implemented. Next slide, please. And these are your suggestions when it comes to reinvigorating services. Next. On research, medyo isa ang na-consider, no? And then for accelerating climate action and strengthening disaster resilience. Isa na lagi siya, but very important because we're talking about the value chain in the province. Next slide. These are your suggestions in ensuring peace, security, and public safety, which we have considered in the plan. Next slide. On ensuring administration of justice, on good governance and bureaucratic and regulatory efficiency. These were also your recommended strategies which have already found their way in the regional development plan. Next slide. Infrastructure, in terms of transportation and ICT, next. In terms of social infra, next slide. In terms of energy, water resources related facilities, next slide. Health, marami balik-balik na tanong, okay lang. Sige, next. Nagbalik ka, okay. Now let's talk about your programs and projects. What have we considered in the Regional Development Investment Program? So this one is on a Senso Medical Center hospital building, hospital equipment for PGMO hospitals, expansion of bed capacity and repair and rehab of hospital buildings. These were reported by Vice Gov kanina. No? Next slide. And these are your programs and projects that were proposed under Chapter 7. Hindi na ko siya masahon, ha? Okay, medyo but you can have a copy of my presentation for reference. Next. 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 Medyo ubay-ubay. Services. Next. 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 And then on infra. Okay, next. Next. Still on infra. Next slide. So, these are the programs and projects that are already in the investment program. Now, as I've said, very important na masunod siya sa investment program because it is the basis for budgeting. Walay programa nga mapunduhan kung dili siya ma-appeal sa Regional Development Investment Program. Although, dili tanan programs in the RDIP are funded, pero walay mapunduhan by the national government kung dili siya masunod sa RDIP. Now, the list will be updated every year. Why? Because our reality changes from time to time. Now, like naghan funding sources, no? Like local funds. Katong those that will be funded by local funds, dili na siya appeal sa investment program. Ang i-appeal nato sa investment program sa region are those that have been proposed for national funding or for ODA funding or for PPP funding. So what are the ways forward? One is really the localization of the results matrix. Ang region has its results matrix. I know that by 2024, you will start updating your PDPFP, and I hope that you would be also localizing some of the indicators that are in the RDIP. Second, ang atong plan is to align our outcomes at the regional and then local levels. Another, next slide. Next. And we would like to request for your support in advocacy, in terms of advocating our regional development plan as it relates to your own provincial plan. Next slide. And then of course, ang atong hangyo lastly is for you to monitor the implementation of the regional development plan. Because this is our plan. We should all be held accountable for the implementation of this plan. So we ask you to be always vigilant. Hold your officials accountable, including your national government agencies and regional line agencies. Next slide. So in NEDA, ang sentro sa plano mauman ang tao. Very important that we were able to prepare or craft our regional development plan. Next slide. But it's not enough that we have crafted the plan. Our challenge is really to execute or implement the plan and ensure that what we have committed to our people are realized. This plan, which we have started implementation this year, will have an updating in 2025. Hopefully by 2025, we have attained many of our committed targets for our people. So with that, my presentation ends. And at this point, allow me to give you a very brief presentation or overview of the plan using an AD. May hapon sa tanan.
This is the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan 2023 to 2028.
Each Filipino aspires na matatag, maginhawa at manatag na buhay. This is our ambisyon natin 2040. In October 2016, the country adopted this vision, which serves as an anchor for medium-term planning across 4 political administrations. Since then, the country embarked on a mission to achieve Ambisyon Natin 2040 by formulating the Philippine and Regional Development Plans for 2017-2022. Over the past years, the government instituted game-changing reforms that resulted in robust economic growth and substantial reduction of poverty in northern Mindanao. However, in 2020, COVID-19 pandemic disrupted our growth momentum and waning efforts to further reduce poverty. Yet recovery is underway as northern Mindanao's economy expanded in 2021 and 2022, regaining its lost ground due to the pandemic. Learning lessons from the past, the administration of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. vows to plan economic and social transformation for a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient society. As the region transitions into the next phase camp, the Regional Development Council of Northern Mindanao immediately engages development partners in formulating the Regional Development Plan 2023 to 2020. The strategies in the plan are aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals and contribute to achieving Ambisyon Natin 2040 and the region's development vision of becoming an international gateway, leading agricultural hub, and among the top industrial, tourism, and trade centers in the Philippines.
For the next 6 years, the region will develop and protect capabilities of individuals and families and transform production sectors to generate more quality jobs and competitive products. Through the plan, we will sustain rapid economic growth at 6.5 to 8% through 2028. To make this expansion more inclusive, the region aims to improve the quality of jobs by reducing underemployment rate to below 15% and bring down poverty rate among population to as low as 15%. To achieve more focused interventions, the region will continue to operationalize its strategic development areas and sharpen and upscale the convergence areas for peace and development program.
The plan contains transformative strategies for the region's economy, people, institutions, and environment. We will ensure that human capital and social development services will provide individuals and families with the necessary set of capabilities to participate in growth opportunities.
Health will be boosted by providing access and quality health care for all and promoting health-seeking behavior. Education and lifelong learning will be enhanced by providing quality, inclusive, and adequate education at all levels, and preparing learners for the demands of the fourth industrial revolution. Livable communities will be established to facilitate the attainment of a higher quality of well-being that support our aspiration of a secure and comfortable life by 2040. To increase income earning ability of individuals, the government will provide access to training and skills development and employment facilitation programs that are relevant with industry needs and standards. The region will make the labor market more inclusive, protect the workers, and provide avenues for retooling and reskilling. The region will likewise pursue vulnerability reduction strategies.
To ensure food security and proper nutrition, the region will work on obtaining sufficient and stable supply of food commodities, expanding access of consumers to affordable, safe, and nutritious food, and improving nutrition across all ages. The region will sustain its efforts to toward a transformative social protection system by ensuring that individuals receive appropriate interventions, especially those in disadvantaged areas and circumstances. Interventions will focus on enabling individuals and communities to attain sustainable self-sufficiency and resilience.
The production sectors in the region will be transformed to generate more and better quality jobs and produce competitive products for both Philippine and international markets.
Agriculture and agribusiness will be modernized with farm mechanization and clustering. Diversification of industrial and high-value crop production, and adoption of climate and disaster-resilient technologies. Industry, as the engine for economic transformation, will be revitalized with focus on manufacturing. Through science, technology, and innovation, enhanced linkages, and increased investments in research and development by public and private sectors. The region will champion export products and revitalize its locational assets, thus fortifying the region's position as an industrial core in the South. The services sector will be reinvigorated to generate quality jobs and services. We will improve the sector's competitiveness, stimulate creativity and innovation, and enhance intersector linkages. All these are geared towards attaining the region's long-term goal of becoming a world-class tourist destination and an IT BPM hub in southern Philippines. Pagpipadayan ng aksyon para sa misyon.
Thank you very much, Director Carino, for that comprehensive presentation and for walking us through the
I'm lying alone with my head on the phone, thinking of you tonight. I know you are too, but what is it we do to make things all apart? I wish I could carry a smile in my heart, but sometimes my life seems so low. It would make me believe what tomorrow could bring, but to me doesn't really know, doesn't really know. I'm all alone, I'm so lost without you. I know you're right, believe it for so long. I'm all alone, without you. I couldn't explain the state
to our Vice Governor, Vice Governor Gutierrez, to my colleagues, Board Member Henry Sanyo and Board Member Dicina, to the Regional Director of NELATAN, Director Carino, and to all the participants of the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan 2023 to 2028 Provincial Roadshow. Good afternoon. So it is with confidence that I can say that Northern Mindanao will be a progressive region by 2028. As the Sangguniang Kabataan Provincial Federated President representing the youth of our province, I believe that the role of the youth is essential in contributing to the fruition of this plan. Of the three pillars, development and protection of the capabilities of individuals and families is where I believe the youth should be more involved, particularly in strengthening social protection. With respect to advocacy and awareness, our programs, activities, seminars will incorporate social protection to raise awareness among the youth and the community about its importance. This is to educate them about the available services for them as well as how to access them. We will be collaborating with the LGUs, NGOs, and community-based organizations to support and complement existing social protection initiatives which aims to build strong partnerships that can help maximize resources and ensure effective program delivery. And also to ensure that social protection programs are inclusive and addresses the unique needs of different vulnerable groups such as the elderly, persons with disabilities, and marginalized youth. As the representative of the youth, I am fully committed to advancing the interests and progress of our region. I believe that together, we can reach our dreams for a more prosperous, safe, and just community. Through our collective efforts, we can achieve ambisyon natin 2040 and we will have a brighter and more comfortable future for everyone. Thank you, and let's work together for the betterment of Northern Mindanao.
Thank you once again, Honorable Alicia Ann Pao, the SK Federated President. Now, Provincial Board Member Calverdito B. Dicina.
Thank you sa itong MC, no? Mayong hapon sa tanan. My respect or Director, no? Ma'am Mayra Carino, ma'am, good afternoon. And to our Provincial Governor, ang pinakagwapa, Vice Governor Gutierrez, Vice mayong hapon. O sa akong colleagues nga niya, Trikaro Hapuna, Honorable Henry B. Estanio, Honorable Alicia Pao. So, in behalf of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Misamis Occidental, it is my task this afternoon to deliver the pledge of support now for this today's event in this the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan 2023 to 2028 Provincial Roadshow. So, Northern Mindanao as our home, as our region, as well as we know, is renowned for its natural beauty, diverse culture, and resilient people. All of us has been on an incredible journey, not to mention the positive change and advancement that our region has seen and has experienced over the past few years, including the post-pandemic recovery, and as we tended to stand as one towards growth and prosperity. Prosperous as it signifies a region that has experienced significant economic growth and development has experienced in various sectors, including healthcare, tourism, technology, agriculture, and education. The prosperity of our Region 10 suggests that it has progressively achieved its goals and on the right trajectory towards better quality of life for the people of the Region 10. And of course, it wouldn't be all possible without proper planning. So without the presence of our dynamic leaders, our dedication and teamwork towards development. As one of the provincial board members, the province of Misamis Occidental will give our full attention and support to our congressman, governor, and vice governor, as we will stay informed about the specific priorities and strategies outlined in the NMRDP for 2023 to 2028, and to align contributions with the regional development goals effectively, engaging with the local government units, NGOs, and community plans objectives in the Region 10, including agriculture and rural development, tourism and culture promotion, economic growth and innovation, education and skills development, healthcare and social services, environmental sustainability, and even in infrastructure development. So each one of us leaders and civilians in our society plays a vital role in shaping the destiny of our region. We are the backbone of success. Our voices are accountable, and our tool for ensuring the plans, objectives, and goals are met with integrity and responsibility. And success starts with us, our own selves. The value that we have as a person will lead us to our region's dream. By working together, we will turn this vision of a better Northern Mindanao into a reality, so we can build a legacy of progress and prosperity that the future generations will cherish. So once again, daghang salamat and mayong hapon sa tanan.
Please welcome Mr. Lung Fai Chan, the President of the Osamis Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. I'm a representative from the Osamis Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce Incorporated, and also I think I'm here to represent the whole business sector. So, maayong hapon, una sa tanan, kang ato ang Vice Governor, Madam Gutierrez, and our NEDA Director, Director Carino, ato ang Provincial Board Members, maayong hapon, o national and local governing agencies, and labi na ako ang seatmate sa Provincial Director sa Bureau of Fire Protection, si Colonel El Bambo. I just met him. O si Madam Los Calda, ato ang DTI Chief, maayong hapon. O sa inyong tanan, and my fellow civic organization leaders, maayong hapon. Ato ang guwapo nga tingog, mga teachers, maayong hapon, mga sir and ma'am. So, I was asked to give a one-word description of the program. So after watching presentation ni Governor Ominal o ni Madam Carino, I can say one word which is very popular in Misamis Occidental is ascenso. Watay lain mainan kundi mag-ascenso. So I I'm glad that there's a plan in business. We know that planning is very important. Planning will take away lots of waste, lots of try and errors with concrete data, with by getting concrete data and getting a realistic plan that will have the very clear direction and take away lots of wastage of resources and effort. So, just like what I saw and also mentioned by Madam Carino, business people look for stability. Kung walay peace and order, walay stable political situation, walay stable support from the government to the businesses, nobody will expand and nobody will invest. They will just go away to find a more stable environment. So what I saw there, one of the pillars was peace and order, so that was good. And also the development, human resources development, making our people educated and giving them a health care, so that will enrich our human resources, and eventually that will also help in our economy. But a plan without action just stays on papers. That's also a lesson for us businessmen. Meeting ka ng meeting, resolution nga resolution, pagkawa sa meeting room, wala na may action, iyayahay na nagkuhan, iyayahay, balik yapon sa daan nga gawin. So, useless yapon. So, as a business sector, I would pledge to Madam Carino and our governor that our business sector will work hand in hand with our government agencies, because after this plan, I'm sure the provincial and local governments should come up with projects, infrastructure, I think, and ordinances and incentive plans, I believe. No? So the business sector will work hand in hand with the provincial and local governments by giving inputs, giving reality on the ground, and also from the plans of our provincial and local government, we will disseminate to our members, our chamber members, our businessmen, of all the opportunities for them to exploit and invest in. So I think there's no other way but as it so. And lastly, I was asked what I can give feedback or advice to the Northern Mindanao people. I think my advice will be, I just remember a quote from the late US President John F. Kennedy. Don't ask what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. By that, I don't mean that every one of us should run for governor, mayor, or president. We can do our part by just doing conscientiously what our job is. As a businessman, we should be creative, we should think of new products, we should use technology to improve our business, to make it efficient, to make it profitable, and on the other hand, to be honest and to be fair in dealing with our customers and our employees. And as an employee, as a worker, just be conscientious. Don't lack off. Learn the best of your trade. Be more and more knowledgeable, be more and more efficient, and be a conscientious worker. And as leader to be creative, to work for the best of our people. So with that environment, I don't think there's no other way to go but asenso. Daghang kayo salamat.
Thank you, sir, and sa atong mga maaktifon ng mga CSO. And speaking of CSO, we have yet another pledge from one of our active partners, CSOs, showing us her support.
Warm greetings from the Our Lady of Triumph Institute of Technology. On behalf of the academic sector, I extend my heartfelt congratulations on the successful launch of the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan 2023-2028. Our landmark marks the beginning of an exciting journey toward a greater and more affluent future for everyone who resides in our region, particularly in our beloved Misamis Occidental Province. As the President of the Our Lady of Triumph Institute of Technology, I am honored to express our unwavering support and commitment to this significant endeavor. The NMRDP 23-28 is a driving force for positive transformation. We are convinced that the collaboration among academia, government agencies, industry leaders, and the general public is essential to its successful implementation. Our activities are linked to one goal: inclusive, resilient, and sustainable regional development with human capital development as one of its primary foundations. We in the academia have been really committed to promoting academic quality, innovation, and societal advancement. We acknowledge the critical role that educational institutions play in regional development and are eager to contribute our skills, resources, and knowledge to support the plan's objectives. We are determined to use our diverse strengths to support the success of the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan 2023-2028. Under Chapter 10, the plan emphasized the importance of research and development, technology, and innovative approaches, since they play a critical role in the academic sector, contributing to the advancement of knowledge, stimulating innovation, and driving social economic progress. As a result, the academic sector will actively participate in research efforts that coincide with the development plan priorities, as well as the Regional Development Priority Research Agenda 2023-2028. Our teaching and research teams will work with stakeholders to address important challenges, develop creative solutions, and deliver evidence-based recommendations that contribute to long-term development, economic growth, and social advancement. Of course, we, in the academy, recognize the essential significance of education in defining our region's future. As stated in Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan 2023-2028, Subchapter 4.2, which focuses on strengthening education and lifelong learning. We will continue to participate in initiatives aimed at improving educational opportunities
developing relevant skill sets, and instilling life skills such as financial literacy, proper values, and work ethics among our students and the broader community, bringing us one step closer to realizing the mantra of our beloved province of Misamis Occidental, Misamis nun, magpuyong malinawon, malambuon o manipayon. And all of this will become a reality with the support of our stakeholders in the province and under the leadership of our Governor, Attorney Henry Sevelia Waminal, as well as Honorable Representatives, Congressman Sancho, Fernando Waminal, and Jason Almonte. And of course, with our very active and very intelligent NEDA Director Myla Carino. And all the provinces' local chief executives, we can work together. Together, let us build a brighter future towards a matatag, maginhawa, at panatag na buhay para sa lahat. Thank you, and God bless everyone.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your continuous support in the development of the province and of the region. Now, moving on, let us hear yet another pledge, this time to speak in behalf sa mga kaigsuunan na PWD in the province. So, INCAP is the President of Strategic Alliance for Networking on Disability, or SNAN. Please help me welcome Mr. Emmanuel C. Jaco.
My profound respect to our hard-working Governor, Attorney Henry S. Mindanao, to our Honorable Vice Governor, Wayne Gutierrez, our honorable members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, to NEDA Director, Ma'am Carino, to our fellow members of the Provincial Development Council, ayong hapon. I am personally happy to be given this chance to express our support to the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan. This is the first time that sector of people with disabilities have been given this opportunity. In behalf of people with disabilities in the province of Misamis Occidental, let me express our unequivocal support to the implementation of this plan, and I personally hope that this plan will transpire and translate into practical and concrete advancement and benefit for all the people with disabilities. All over the years, there have been a lot of programs and projects started to help people with disabilities. And frankly, most of them have been hard to realize. This time, I'd like to hope for a better program, a better plan. Inaapunta na hindi na puro istorya. Please tell me where we can help government. In our own limited way, we will support whatever plan and whatever program the government has. Not only for our sector, but also the other sectors in Region 10. Again, thank you for giving us this opportunity. I'd like, again, to express our full support to the program, the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Council. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Sir Django, and thank you sa ato ang mga provincial officials, board member Pao and board member Desina, and to our active kayo, mga partner stakeholders from the private sector.
So in behalf of the provincial government of Misamis Occidental, ako akong pagpasalamat sa ato ang 5 members ng mga bayang nagtingo, sa atong mga media men, sa ato ang regional director sa Nilete, Ma'am Carino, o sa ato ang mga stakeholders na naatin karon tanan, daghan kayong salamat. So this is the response and commitment of support from our hardworking Governor, Attorney Henry S. Waminan. Within the Regional Development Council and the National Economic Development Authority, NEDADE, for facilitating the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan Provincial Roadshow. It is a great privilege that I strongly manifest our commitment in behalf of our hardworking Governor, Attorney Henry S. Waminan, in the realization of the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan 2023 to 2028. We will take the challenge and commit to work together to fulfill every role and responsibility to achieve our goals. So, many challenges obstructing our development, may we take comfort in the strength of each one of us and have a level of hope to reach our targets. It is truly an honor for the Misamisnos to support and rally in this regional development plan. After today, looking at the enthusiasm of every participant, I should say we deserve to congratulate ourselves, and you can count on the full support and commitment of Misamisnos in this journey. Good afternoon, and Ascenso Misamis Occidental, Ascenso Northern Mindanao.
Thank you, Vice Governor. So, now to know, we just heard the pledges and support from our esteemed officials and partner stakeholders. Now it's time to officially declare or seal the commitment of support to the Northern Mindanao Regional Development Plan 2023 to 2028. I'd like to invite our distinguished leaders and our stakeholders to join us in the ceremonial signing symbolizing the commitment of support for the development of the whole region. May we request Vice Governor Rowena Gutierrez, Regional Director. Next, we would also like to request our national government agencies to affix their signature in our Commitment of Support Board. Our BFP Head, Superintendent from the DepEd, from DPWH, PESTA, Next, we would like to request our private sector representatives, our partners from partner CSOs, Sir Django, from PICE, from OLE, and all other stakeholders. Thank you very much, everyone. So today signifies another partnership between the provincial government and our stakeholders in the National Regional Development Council. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us today in this empowering event. Let's move on to build a better future for our province and of the region. That ends our program for today. God bless everyone. We will request our regional director, Carinio, from Manila, and from Pico. One, two. Ascenso. Ascenso.
Kita buat smile.
Ano to mga staff sa Naga? 5 na.